My husband and I were birding in southern Thailand several years ago and happened to go to a salt field. This salt came from salt water in the process of evaporation, and we found ourselves looking as far as the eye could see at glittering, shimmering, almost blinding white expanses. The heat was overwhelming. Workers, heads covered in large conical straw hats, raked the developing salt back and forth all day so that it would dry thoroughly before harvesting. I surely appreciate the zest that salt adds to food, and historically, I dimly knew its importance in Jesus' time. A precious commodity. What I had not realized is its beauty and the intense labor, the hard work needed for this precious production. Today, we have Jesus telling his disciples that they and we are the salt of the earth. Let's put ourselves in the position of one of those disciples as Jesus speaks. How are we to understand Jesus' meaning? We are salt, precious and essential. We are valuable beyond all imagining to a God who created us and loves us. As Isaiah reminds us, because you are precious in my eyes and honored, and I love you. We, like the disciples, are valuable to Jesus' mission. That may sometimes be difficult to grasp. In the context of country and world woes, or even tribulations in our own life, we seem ourselves small, perhaps insignificant. But that isn't what Jesus is saying here. Each of us is salt, the salt of the earth. Each of us has our own gifts to bring to others. On each of us lies the responsibility for making real the reign of God, and that is never insignificant. Imagine Jesus sitting with you, looking you in the eyes, and telling you that exact understanding, an image we need to periodically refresh so as not to forget our own importance in God's eyes. But Jesus doesn't leave us there, instead inviting his disciples and us to consider the possibility of the salt, our salt, losing its flavor. And for some kinds of salt, that can happen over time. And then, as Jesus says, if the salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It's no longer good for anything, but rather is thrown out and trampled underfoot. Such a waste of a precious commodity. What do we need to do to ensure that we do not lose our flavor, our saltiness? Might Jesus be inviting us to become, or to remain, renewed, fresh? An invitation to find ways to embrace each day's new life given to us as gift to be shared. It's a responsibility Jesus is putting on his disciples and us individually to retain our flavor, to retain our saltiness. In a similar manner, in our gospel today, Jesus likens us to light. We are the light of the world. Again, a responsibility assigned to let our light shine, not any light, but one put upon a lampstand to give light throughout the house, or to shine as on a mountaintop, in whatever way works for us. Is it too much to understand that without each of our lights, the gospel message of God's love is that much dimmed? As time permits, let us take some time apart today, as Jesus did from time to time, to consider how we have responded to God's invitation to sprinkle our salt, to shine our light, recognizing our importance in God's eyes to heal with our care and love wherever we have the opportunity today. The stakes are high. We do not want to lose the opportunity to let our salt, our light, our gifts positively impact someone else's life. We do not want to lose the opportunity, as Jesus says, to glorify our Heavenly Father through our good deeds. Each of us has our own gifts to use for this purpose, different from all others. No more may we consider ourselves insignificant. Rather, we are called to believe that we can do positive things to impact events and people in our life, whether we can always recognize that or not. Let us remember our mission to love and serve the Lord through our lives, to be salt and to be light, one day at a time. May we fulfill our responsibility as disciples of the risen Christ, empowered by the Spirit, to maintain the flavor of our salt and to let our light shine before others today.